Welcome, friends and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Cincinnati. We are Club 17. We're the 17th club out of 46,000 Rotary clubs worldwide. We're very appreciative that you're here. It's a very exciting day at Rotary. We are welcoming 4 talented high school students, their families, and our celebrity judges for the 4-way test speech contest. The 4-way test is an ethical touchstone that guides and unites Rotarians in the things we think, say, or do. As members of this club, it has become part of who we are. For this reason, we are very eager to cheer on our contestants today and very much looking forward to your speeches. Let's begin our meeting with the national anthem led by Bill Stilley, accompanied by Janet Metzelar, followed by the 4-way test and invocation by Steve Dreyfel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thanks, President Steve. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we are thankful that we are able to gather here today with friends, guests, students, and fellow Rotarians. We thank you for the food you have provided to nourish our body and for those who served it. Today is a special day. On February 23rd, 1905, lawyer Paul Harris and 3 friends met in a small office in downtown Chicago and started a new club called Rotary. So today we celebrate Rotary's 118th year anniversary. We thank you for the opportunity to be part of such a meaningful movement that serves our community and our world. We are blessed to have students here today who were specially selected to share with us a topic they are passionate about. They have worked diligently to hone their speaking skills and to put thoughtful and convincing words on paper. Be with them as they convey their messages. Guide them in their words. Give them strength in their delivery and calm any nervousness they may have. Let their words nourish our souls and our minds. Be with the judges. Give them wisdom and discernment. Father in heaven, thank you for letting each of us be here today so we can listen and learn from these students as they apply the Rotary 4-way test to their speeches. And let us always remember to put service above self. Amen. And now please join me in reciting the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Bill and Janet. You may be seated. Now to welcome our guests and prospective members, Kelly Collison.
Thank you, President Steve. Will Club 17 please give a warm welcome to our guests and celebrate and acknowledge the Rotarians that invited them. Today, we welcome Angie Hoffman from First Commonwealth Bank, brought by Rotarian Esteban Calais. Mike McClellan, guest of Rotarian Kay Atkins. Patrick Ober from Stepping Stones, brought to us with Kelly Crow. And Scott Inskeep from Grant Us Hope, guest of Rotarian Allison Kaufman. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you continue to enjoy service above self with Rotary Club 17.
Thank you, Kelly. Welcome, guests. We hope you come back and join us in service. Now for a new member introduction. Welcome, Jessica Stieritz. That's right, there's a hazard there. So Jessica and I have been friends for probably over 10 years. Our kids were in Scouts together. They attended Good Shepherd Catholic Montessori for years and years. But I learned that Jessica has actually been a Rotarian since 2018. She's a member of the Pathways E-Club, and that, furthermore, she has 20 years of experience with Rotary through the Guatemala Literacy Project. Jessica works for a local nonprofit organization called Cooperative for Education. It's an official Rotary International cooperating organization and the partner for the Guatemala Literacy Project. As part of her work at COED, Jessica manages the Guatemala Literacy Project Global Grants, which include funds from over 125 clubs and districts, and the Rotary International Foundation. Together, they have brought textbooks, training, and computers to thousands of students in central and western highlands of Guatemala. In fact, Jessica has just returned from Guatemala, and there's a picture where she was with Rotary International President Jennifer Jones, who highlighted the Guatemala Literacy Project as a model global grant during her Global Impact Tour. So, it is a natural fit that Jessica is interested in joining the World Affairs Committee. Jessica is a native Cincinnatian. She and her husband Tony are both Xavier University grads and devoted parents to their 4 children, ages 3 to 14. The family resides in Pleasant Ridge. Jessica, it's such a pleasure to have you as part of Club 17. Let's give a warm welcome to Jessica Stieritz.
One more pin.
We're going to take a picture with you. Let's step this way just a little bit, and then... Thank you, Jessica. Okay, a few announcements. Birthdays. Janet, Dick, Michelle, Carol, Alan, happy birthday. Janet and Michelle are here. Is Al here too? Hey, there they are. Happy birthday, everybody. Steve Dreyfel mentioned that today is the birthday of Rotary International, 118 years strong. It's also the birth month of the 4-way test speech contest. 80 years to the year 4-way test speech contest began. So it's perfectly appropriate that we are carrying on that legacy here in Cincinnati. Family of Rotary news. It's with a heavy heart that I share that Rotarian Terry Shannon passed away during heart surgery after a heart attack late last week in Naples. Terry joined our club just last October with DePaul Cristo Ray. Please keep her husband and their 8 children in your prayers. More details will be shared as they are known. Split the pot. This is a tidy sum today. Split the pot. Today's winner is $68. The rolling pot is up to $1,412. So this is getting interesting. How many cards are left, Christy? Oh, she's counting them. All right, the last 22 cards left, so almost a 5% chance of winning $1,400. All right, we have last three digits are 584. 584. You have to be a Rotarian to draw for the big pot, but $68 to the ticket holder of 584. Do we have a 584 winner? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody wants a 5% chance. Going once, going twice. All right, I'm going to draw another ticket. All right, this is, the last three digits are 333. Lucky threes. Apparently we're using last week's bowl, but 333, going once, going twice. All right, we're going to pull a third ticket. We've got last three digits, 421. Hey, all right, Mike. Oh, it was the hearts, but not the queen. All right, the plot thickens. Few final announcements. Club survey. If you haven't taken the survey, please do. The survey will remain open until the end of February. The next neighborhood coffee will be next week, Tuesday, 28th, 8 a.m. at I Am Coffee in St. Bernard. Michael Schatzman, thank you for your cheering. I appreciate that. Rotary Bowling Tournament with Dayton Rotary. Come cheer on our Cincinnati Rotary Bowling team as their annual bowling tournament against Dayton Rotary for bragging rights occurs on Friday, March 3rd, beginning at 5:30 at Stone Lanes in Norwood. And finally, be sure to sign up for our next professional development program at 11 a.m. Thursday, March 9th. So that's 11 a.m. before the Rotary Luncheon. The program will be presented by Rotarians John and Katie McCann from their new book, Why Managers Fail and Leaders Prevail. John and Katie, are you here today? Hey, John, thank you for presenting that. I'm looking forward to hearing about your book. Sign up in DACDB, March 9th, 11 a.m. And thanks to Bob Sheard for helping coordinate the professional development series. All right. Without any further ado, I'd like to turn the program over to Lori Quinlivan and our four-way test speech contest.
All right, Steve, thank you. All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Not really? Okay now? Yes? Okay, good. So welcome to our Rotary Club, all of you in the front who are new. This is our 8th year hosting the contest, and there are contests like this going on right now at Rotary Clubs all across the country. We love it because we get to find out what students are really thinking about, what they're really passionate about, and it's a great opportunity for students because, as we really learned this year, they don't get much opportunity to do public speaking at school. And in fact, one of our contestants from McNicholas decided she would give her whole speech on that. And so I have permission to quote Julia Cheek. This is what she wrote. "We will all talk to people almost every day for the rest of our lives. We will not all be doing advanced trigonometry. So why is it that we spend a year learning trigonometry and spend little to no time working on public speaking or communication skills? Something needs to change. 75% of students fear public speaking, and we are sending kids out into the world without the skills they need to excel And that's unfair to us and the places hiring us. Hear, hear, right? Good for you, Julia. But beyond our own circles, just think about how the power of public speaking has the ability to change the world. So think about Vladimir Zelensky. If he were not the wonderful speaker that he is, with power and passion, could he have persuaded the world to come along and support Ukraine? Where would Ukraine be without him? So Julia and all the other students, we're happy to give you some practice with this contest. And now I want to introduce to you all the Rotarians who've been helping over the last 3 months to go to the schools and coach the kids. So when I call your name, if you would just stand and remain standing till you're all up. And we'll just clap at the end. So Hux Miller, Mike Villardo, Mike Schmidt, Andrew Zahn, Michael Schatzman, Greg Hartley, Allison Kaufman, Janet Metzlar, Lydia Steck, Chip Carson, Bob Sheard, Janet Burns, Bill Shula, and Nancy Hand. And then committee members with special roles today are Kay Atkins, she's our official timer and cue card handler. And we have 2 Rotarian judges, Mark Reckman and Chip Carson. And the contest co-chairs with me this year are Jim Brooks and Rob Hageman. Big round of applause for everybody. So Jim and Rob are going to come up now and help with a little demo. And just to tell you what the rules of this contest are for the kids. But before we get there, we're going to introduce the kids. So first, a school that is brand new, working with us in the speech contest this year, McNicholas High School in Mount Washington. Our fantastic faculty advisor is the English Department Chair, Angie Noble, and her principal, Dave Mueller. Let's give them a hand. Stand up. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. And the McNicholas contestants were so strong that a couple weeks ago, when one of our schools dropped out, SCPA, we said, no problem. We have such strong people from McNicholas. We're picking 2. And we did. So our first is senior Carly Weidenbacher, here with her mom, Amy Weidenbacher, and her grandfather, Dave Ackerman. Yay. And let's also welcome sophomore Lynn Sandmann with her sister, Mary Sandmann, and her aunt, Amy Venemeyer.
So introducing our guests from DePaul Cristo Ray High School today in Clifton, we're happy to welcome the faculty advisors. So at DePaul Cristo Ray, the contestants in this were their honors English class led by first year at the school faculty advisor and teacher, Stephanie McManus. Let's welcome Stephanie.
Stand up. Yay, Stephanie.
And representing the school in today's contest is sophomore Grem Sheaf and her mom, Dawn.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. For Walnut Hills, our 4th and last school to be participating, we have another new faculty advisor working with Rotary this year, and she has a special connection to Rotary. In college, she won a Rotary Ambassador Scholarship to Belgium that she says changed her life. She was also a Rotarian in Northern Kentucky. So let's welcome French teacher Dorina Fox and the principal of Walnut Hills, John Chambers.
Yay.
Our Walnut contestant is Tamara Munoz, here with her parents, Maribel Cortez and Walter Munoz.
And we are all very lucky that we've got 5 celebrity judges. You're going to hear from them in just a minute. They get 1-minute speeches, and we're going to time them because the kids are timed on their speeches. So Jim and Rob are going to show you how this is going to work.
Sure, and this is for the benefit of the contestants and the audience. There is a series of cue card prompts that our timer will be holding. That's Kay Atkins sitting there. She'll be sitting at the head table here, and she will hold a series of cue card prompts that will help the contestants know where they're at in timing. As you know, the speech needs to be at least 4 minutes long and no longer than 6 minutes. So when the speaker hits the 4-minute mark, the first thing you'll see is that green cue card. That's telling you you've achieved the minimum of 4 minutes. The next mark is it the 1 minute?
1 minute.
So after that mark, the next mark that you'll see is the 1 minute mark, letting you know there's 1 minute remaining. And after that, you'll see a 30-second card that shows you 30 seconds is remaining in your entire slot. And then when you get down to 10 seconds, there's a 10-second card. And finally, at the 6 minute mark, there's a stop card. So
Stop.
we think those will, they're easy to see. They'll be right down in front, and they'll just help you know your pace along with the speech.
All right, thanks Jim and Rob for helping with that. And now, what you've all been waiting for, the celebrity judges giving their 1 minute speech. So actually, if you want, why don't you come down and take a seat here, and I'm going to introduce you. These are where you're going to be sitting anyway, you know, when you judge. So I had the pleasure of working with our first celebrity judge at WCPO. I was there 13 years. She was there 27 years. And she just left recently. Julie O'Neill is now writing a book about all her experiences in television. She's a professional speaker, entertaining audiences of all sizes. And she's also a professional singer who has performed with bands, groups, a cappella, as I've heard her many times, sing Happy Birthday to Channel 9. So I'm sure you'll recognize her smiling face, and she's a very caring journalist. Julie O'Neill. So when I told Julie she only gets a minute, she said, "Oh, you just try and stop me at a minute." So
my exact words were, "I dare you, Quinlivan."
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You know I enjoy applause, so I got all day.
So at a minute, we're going to go like this, and you may have to help me clap her off the stage. So.
Okay, so I'll start by saying that the book I have just written is called Bold: The Secret to My Big Wins as a Newswoman, to help you crash through your comfort zone. I tell you that for two reasons. One, to shamelessly plug my book, which comes out in a couple of months, but also to say to the presenters today, you are crashing through your comfort zone today. Anytime you get up in front of people and put yourself out there, particularly in a competitive situation, that takes guts and that takes boldness. So it's a win walking into the door, especially when you have your parents and teachers and principals here, because we want to please, we want to perform well. I haven't gotten a time cue.
It's only a minute.
And so it's a huge thing what you're doing here today. So take a deep breath. Breathing helps. Deep breaths, and enjoy the process. This is fun, and we're all friends here, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Happy birthday to Rotary. I would sing, but I think I'm out of time.
Thank you.
But you can clap anyway.
I don't know if anybody was timing you or not. All right, I think to make it a little more scary for the celebrity judges, I should put this center stage so they can't hide behind the podium, just like it will be for our contestants. So next, let's welcome Michaela Hughes Shaw, reporter and host for WCPO's Cincy Lifestyle program. She was Miss Iowa 2018 for the Miss America Scholarship Program and completed more than 150 hours of community appearances in her year of service. Go right there. And she volunteers with Love Girls magazine, helping young female writers as the group's podcast producer. In her free time, she plays her violin, Charles. Yes. She named her violin. She buys too many candles and binge watches crime documentaries.
A lot of them, yes.
Are you timing? All right, Kay is going to be your official timer.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm just going to say, I will try to keep this under a minute, I promise, how important it is to use your voice. And it's so, so encouraging to have these young people here today that are going to be sharing their voices. As somebody that has competed for Miss America and done quite a few pageants, it's intimidating. It can be so intimidating to get up in front of a crowd and speak, but it also can be so extremely rewarding. You never know who's in the room, you never know who you're going to touch, and you never know the difference that you're going to make when you share your experiences. And the biggest experience that I've shared throughout my years in pageantry, and now as a retired has-been, as I like to call myself, I always speak very openly about mental illness, and I speak very openly about being a daughter of a formerly incarcerated parent. And people are usually shocked to know that, but I say all of this to say you are not what people say about you on paper. You are so much more than your struggles, and you can accomplish anything you want, and there's a time cue.
Thank you. That was awesome. All right, from our next celebrity is the man that you should email when you're really fired up about something and you want to write about it. He's the op-ed editor for the Cincinnati Enquirer, Kevin Aldridge. And in addition, Kevin, start walking up here. He's an award-winning journalist. He's also a pastor in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And he's co-owner of the Ohio Kings, a men's semi-professional basketball team in Cincinnati. He and his wife live in Westchester.
Boy, you guys are giving an opinionated pastor a minute. You're not asking for any small feat. No, I just want to say congratulations and thank you for what you're doing here. I believe very strongly in communication, in the ability to be able to communicate, whether that's verbally, written, but most importantly, being able to listen. And that's what I'm most looking forward to today, is listening to what these young people say. I firmly believe that if we were all better listeners, we might have a better country. We might be able to solve our problems a little bit better. 90%, I think, of problems come from our inability to effectively communicate. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what these young people are going to communicate to us today. And I'm going to put on my best listening skills today, and I hope you will too. And I'm sure we'll all learn something. Thank you very much.
All right. Nice job. From the world of media now to the wide world of sports. A man who knows what it's like to be on a championship Bengals team. Jim Breach was with the Bengals from 1980 to 92, and he kicked in 2 Super Bowls. He finished his career with 1,151 points, making him the all-time leading scorer for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's now president of the Cincinnati chapter of the NFL alumni. He speaks often to schools and civic groups, so go for it, Jim.
Thanks, Lori. Thank you. I could have actually used the podium because I could have gotten boosted up or something. Kevin, you're so dapper. Look at that. I feel so underdressed. You look so awesome. Congratulations to all of you competing today. This is awesome. You know, I agree with less trigonometry, more public speaking. When I was actually in college, they encouraged us to take a public speaking course because they said, you're going to be interviewed potentially, or you might be asked to speak to a civic group or an alumni group or something along those lines. Can I tell you, that class, here I am 50 years later, still utilizing the resources that came that day during that class. So this is something you'll use for the rest of your life. And I'm so proud of you guys for getting up here and doing it, because it's not always easy. Many people don't want to get up and speak. But once you gain that confidence and it becomes fun, there's nothing like it. As Julie said, it was hard to get her down because she likes being up here so much. So thank you and good luck.
All right. And finally, one of the most powerful sluggers ever to play the game of baseball, George Foster. Foster. He still holds the Cincinnati Reds record for most home runs in a season. In 1977, he had a .320 batting average. He hit 52 home runs and was named the National League Most Valuable Player. Now, these days, George hosts youth baseball camps and clinics across the United States, and he lives in Blue Ash. Come on up, George Foster.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans. No, but Jim Breach had all these records with the Bengals, but he couldn't get into Kings Island because he's too short for the ride. But I'm doubling today as Samuel Jackson, so bear with me. No, but this is Black History Month, and I want to recognize some of the things. One of the big quotes by Jackie Robinson saying that your life is really measured by the impact you have on others. So in life itself, every day I try to go out and do things that's going to help improve myself and help improve others. And when you have that combination going, it's going to be successful. And it's going to the gym, playing tennis, playing golf. Jim Breach is a great golfer because he cheats a lot. but been having an impact on kids and have the young people coming up today talking, that's expressing themselves. And it said stop. I can't read that. Can't see that sign. But thanks for everybody for being here today, and thanks for inviting me. And let's go Bengals, Reds, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, have a good time.
Don't go away. I need your help. Oh. All right, with George's help, we are going to draw for the order of the speeches today. So
draw. Are we this
you are going to draw. Draw one name.
One name. Jim Breach?
No. All right. That person is first. Okay.
Oh,
draw another. I'm going to draw the order
okay.
now. So you know it was not pre-done. That's good.
Why is my name in there? Okay. Who's going to be last? I don't want the person being last to be mad.
Oh, they're probably going to be glad they're last. Okay.
Right. This is the last one.
All right. Thank you for helping us.
It's upside down. I can't read it.
Thank you. All right. So, students, I'm going to tell you the order just so you don't have to freak out. The fourth person is going to be Tamara Munoz. Grem Sheaf is going third. Lynn Sandmann is second. And our first contestant is Carly Weidenbacher from McNicholas High School. Come on up, Carly. You're on. Carly's a senior. Yeah, sure.
I'm ready whenever you guys are. Okay. Imagine you are standing in a busy school hallway. Left and right, teachers are throwing assignments at you, not caring that you are already mentally burdened by their expectations. At home, your parents are constantly fighting, unintentionally making you feel as if you are the cause for the rift in their once happy relationship. On social media, you are consistently harassed by people you don't even know, yet their words cut deeper than anything you've ever felt before. All of these emotions of anger, confusion, and sadness fester inside of you until you are convinced that everything would be better if you just weren't there anymore. But you keep all of this to yourself. As you stand in this busy school hallway, you feel people rushing past you to get to their next class, treating you more as an obstacle than a human being beginning to go numb inside, a human being wishing they could disappear. Hello, everyone. My name is Carly Weidenbacher, and I'm here today to stress the necessity for Hope Squad in high schools by looking through the lens of the Rotary four-way test. For those who don't know, Hope Squad is a peer-to-peer suicide prevention program that was started in 2004 and since then has been adopted by high schools all over the nation. Students who join Hope Squad are trained in QPR, which stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. This simple intervention system allows for students to reach out to peers who may be feeling suicidal and spread awareness about mental health. So let's start with the first question. Is it the truth? In the picture I just painted for you, you were able to step into the shoes of a real person. These shoes can be seen in many different forms, worn by millions of teens all over the country. In 2020, the CDC reported suicide as being the 12th leading cause of death in the United States and the 3rd leading cause of death in individuals aged 15 to 24. But why is that? It could be that these students felt helpless, They didn't know who to turn to, who would understand what they were feeling. It could also be that despite realizing something was wrong, people were too afraid or felt unprepared to provide the help that was needed. Is that fair to all concerned? Is it fair to not provide mental health resources to high school students? Not every teenager in the country has contemplated suicide, but mental health has become more of a topical issue in today's world. Hope Squad provides the safe haven for students to find help for anxiety, depression, or anything else that may be plaguing their mental health. I have been on Hope Squad at McNicholas High School since my sophomore year. I can attest firsthand that this isn't just some school club whose sole purpose is to spread positivity. Last year, I had one of my best friends come to me and tell me that he had been struggling with suicide for years. I also found out that a couple of my other friends didn't know what Hope Squad was because they didn't have it at their high schools. Do you think that it's fair that these teens are deprived of something that could save them in the most critical time of their life? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? The answer to that question is definitely. As the digital age evolves, teens have more and more ways of connecting with each other, but most of these connections are weak because they lack sustenance due to the screen that divides them. Hope Squad members are trained to reach out and build connections. These are face-to-face, concrete relationships formed on the basis of goodwill and concern for the mental health of the other person. Is it beneficial to all concerned? Here's the thing. Over 1,600 high schools across the nation have adopted Hope Squads, but that isn't even 6% of the 27,000 high schools that exist in our country. I believe that if we had a Hope Squad in every single high school across America, every single teen who is struggling with suicide would have a connection to somebody who could provide them with the help that they need. Simultaneously, millions of teens would be empowered knowing that they have the ability to save lives. So let's go back to the picture I painted in the beginning. What if, instead of feeling alone, you were surrounded by a network of friends and peers who supported you and were adequately equipped with the skills and tools needed that you needed to get help? What if instead of choosing to be ignorant of somebody's struggles, you were at the forefront of saving a life? I believe that if we had a Hope Squad in every single high school, millions of lives would be saved and millions of teens would be empowered knowing that they have the ability to change the world one life at a time. Thank you.
Way to go, Carly. That was fantastic. Okay, sophomore Lynn Sandmann, also from McNicholas. You're next. Give her an applause.
If I were to ask how many people in this room have ever been negatively influenced by diet culture, I'm sure many hands would fly in the air. If I were to ask how many people in this room have had insulting comments made about their body, I'm sure those hands would stay in the air. So, is this the truth? Well, let's start in the 1920s. The ideal woman's body type was one that was slim, small-waisted, and very hard to achieve without severely restricting your diet. The age of the Gibson girl. As we move along into the 20th century, we see thicker hips, curves, and an hourglass figure begin to form. Now we make it into the 1970s and the 1980s. The skinny and slim look is back, accompanied by new diets like the cabbage soup diet and the wine and eggs diet. Eating disorders finally become a diagnosable mental health condition, but they've only become more common since then. Now we make it to the 1990s and the 2000s. The normal for a woman's body is wafer thin and frail, only achievable with the most stringent and restrictive diets imaginable. This body standard era was nicknamed heroin chic, which refers to how sick and tired models of this age looked. Little girls looked up to supermodels like Kate Moss, who once quoted, "Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels." We see this dangerously normalized body standard coming back today, encouraged by fad diets and influencers who swear by them. So, is this the truth? Yes, and it has been for years. Is this fair to all concerned? Well, I don't think it's fair to feel like there's only one acceptable body type. People are praised for being their skinniest self, and new diets are created to achieve these unhealthy bodies, many of them encouraging disordered eating, which can lead to malnourishment, which could eventually lead to death. No one willingly chooses this path. Your body does not want you to starve yourself to become as small as you possibly can. But when society paints these impossible body standards for us to force ourselves into, it feels wrong to go against them, especially with how influential social media is today. Growing up with social media, I see influencers, models, and authority figures encourage disordered eating habits all the time. I see posts on my phone telling me to eat no more than 1,200 calories a day, when that is the bare minimum for a 4-year-old. I see posts on my phone telling me to earn my next meal with a 2-hour workout in the gym. These ideas are shown to us daily. They are introduced to our children. We normalize these behaviors and act like they can't kill you. According to thejournal.ie, eating disorder hospital admission rates rose by 66% in 2020, probably due to the fact that all we could do during the pandemic was sit around and stare at our bodies in the mirror. Falling victim to an eating disorder and extreme diet culture can be deadly and not fair to anyone. Will this build goodwill and better friendships? The simple answer is no. When you fall into the deep end of an eating disorder, it feels there's no way out but to keep going. The only friends you feel you make are the thoughts in your head telling you to keep stepping on that scale, or why not skip breakfast tomorrow? These thoughts become habits, and these habits are normalized every single day. Skipping breakfast is encouraged, and watching the scale's number drop is celebrated. I see my friends falling into these habits. I see little kids get admitted into hospitals because they won't let themselves eat in fear of getting too big. Goodwill is shattered when we fall into these unhealthy habits, and friendships are lost when all you can think about is the size of your body and the calories in your last meal. Is this beneficial to all concerned? Well, let's take my life as an example. The summer of 2021, I felt extremely self-conscious about my body for the first time after learning that I didn't have a thigh gap. A thigh gap, for those of you who don't know, is just a gap between your thighs when you put your legs together, a very common body standard for a woman. After learning this, I decided to keep a scale in my bathroom for me to use every day. I looked up ways to lose weight in certain areas of my body fast, and I would follow anything the internet told me. Weighing myself every morning, I grew to get addicted to watching the scale's number drop, and later that year, I was hospitalized and diagnosed with anorexia. Now, if you had asked me then, never in a million years would I have noticed how unhealthy I was. After all, I thought losing weight was praised. The world has normalized this behavior so much that I would nitpick my body in the mirror every day because I thought I should look like that girl in that Instagram picture. I wanted to be the skinny friend in the friend group, and I thought this was normal. And until I had to be medically diagnosed with an eating disorder, I saw nothing wrong with what I was seeing and what I was doing. Now, since then, I have grown to have a much better relationship with food and with my body, but I've also grown to see how drastically glamorized disordered eating is. People are ridiculed for not following the latest fad diet, and new extreme weight loss trends are created. Our bodies are not trends. Our worth is not determined by the size of our waist or the food that we eat. These perfect bodies that we are told we have to have, they're impossible, and they are not worth the cost of your life. Thank you.
Great job, Lynn. Our next contestant is Grem Sheaf from DePaul, Cristo. Ray, let's give her a hand.
Othering. The process in which individuals are discluded for a number of reasons. Race, body type, hair color, dress, friends, hobbies, religion, anything can cause someone to be othered by one group or by a community of people. And many each and every moment of the day are. Why is our world like this? Why are we used to this? Why does no one look after the people who are torn down from othering? Is this the truth of our humanity? In Riverside Academy, 2nd grade, it was a sin to be happy. And I was the only cheery kid that liked playing with strips of paper and dressing like animals for fun. No one wanted to sit with that kid that got every question right and stored snack prices in their pencil case for a later date. No one wanted to sit with that new, strange kid that was too emotional and over-extroverted. Not even their best friend, when she came to this school and had to sit right next to them. It was just culture there to be loud, snappy, careless, depressed, and above all, the top of the students' respect. When you came to the school, you had to very quickly transform yourself into that world. There was no room for diversity in that class. So much so that everyone left me in the foreground and cropped from the photo. Is this fair to all concerned? Everyone in that 3rd grade class said something to a kid named Donald, whether it was how he acted or how he spoke, or even just by the way he interacted with the world. No one wanted to sit with that boy that was just a little more childish than them. All they wanted to do was belittle him to nothing. Posters pasted over pale yellow brick prison walls always reminded you of respect. Respect of elders, visitors, teachers, mothers, fathers, and classmates. Fellow schoolmates, no matter who they are or how they appear. And yet, it failed to do the one job it had, protect the children. It was a daily occurrence for a kid to be forgotten in that school and hated when remembered. And Donald was just one of those victims, discriminated against for his speech, behavior, and overall how he looked. Well, is this beneficial to all concerned? Seth was a new friend of mine in 4th grade. And every other kid in that 4th grade class always belittled him just the same as they had Donald. And there were no teachers that would ever step up to protect him. No one. Will this build goodwill and better friendships? Each and every moment of the day, people face the wrath of othering, something we have been trained to accept and participate in. People were meant to love and support each other, but somewhere down the evolutionary line, we have switched. We have learned the gift of love, the gift of knowledge, but with that comes a desire of superiority and power. Othering is just a byproduct of that need. And this is the truth to our world. But it doesn't have to be. We don't have to be afraid of backlash just for simply helping someone in a dark place. We don't have to be afraid of our own reputation being destroyed. But it doesn't mean putting up posters or memorizing morals. What it means is that when we first take a breath, our authority figures, our mothers, our fathers, they need to teach us the good in all people, all groups, to be fair to everyone. They need to teach us that there is good in this world and not look at each other like we're just different people who should be hated. And this just, whenever they discriminate against another group, all this causes is hurt on all sides. And it doesn't just happen at home where we need to learn to be good and how to do good. This is also from our teachers, our principals, the people who look after us in the school. They need to also teach us how to solve problems, to make better friendships, to build goodwill. And to build all of this, it starts from the first moment we open our eyes, the first moment we take a step, and the first word that is ever spoken out of our mouths.
job, Grem. Okay, our last contestant from Walnut Hills, she's a junior, Tamara Munoz. Give her a big welcome.
Who here knows about school shootings? How about the drills for them? Well, for the past 4 years that I've been at Walnut Hills High School, we have had 2 or 3 of these school shooting drills each year. And they are made to be as realistic as possible. First, a very distinct sound goes off. And then the announcements go on telling us where the intruder might be going, the library, the science wing. Meanwhile, in the classrooms, we shut the door, lock it, turn off the lights, and grab absolutely anything we can to protect ourselves if the intruder were to come in to the classroom. After a few moments of holding this defensive pose, the drill is over, and we go back to studying hard. But I am left with the reminder of what could happen to me and all my peers at any moment at school. Every day I walk into school, I fear for my life. My mother fears for my life. Even teachers fear for their own lives. This is a nationwide problem, and what have we done about it? Absolutely nothing. So this led me to evaluate this problem of school shootings in America with the Rotary 4-way test. So is it the truth? Well, the truth is that in the past 5 years, there has been 151 school shootings, 7 of which have been this year. And I just want to inform you that that number has increased since the last time I said this speech, which was 2 weeks ago. There has been 104 fatalities. How many more people have to die in order for our government to realize this truth, this problem? Do I have to die? Do our teachers have to die? This leads me to the next question. Is it fair to all concerned? Well, along with these drills, we also have conversations with our teachers. And this conversation always falls during choir for me. My choir director, Mr. Nims, always tells me of how he will put himself in the front line to protect us. Is that fair to him? That he has to walk to school every day knowing that he might have to sacrifice himself for us? Is it fair to those communities that have lost and will never be the same? Is it fair to those families that have lost loved ones? Is it fair to those children, to those students that will never see their bright futures, ever? No. So what do we do about this? This leads me to the next question. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? You might have heard of the argument that we have to arm our teachers and fight guns with more guns. Our school is not a war zone. And America currently has more guns than people. So if this solution were to work, wasn't it supposed to prevent the Sandy Hook shooting, the Columbine shooting, the Texas shooting that killed 14 elementary school kids and 1 teacher? Well, it didn't. So having more guns in our schools will only promote fear amongst each other. This will create a divide, and it will not create goodwill and better friendships. But you know what will? Building a community, but not just any community that will talk about it and then disband after a couple months. A community that is educated on knowing who to vote for, to change policies in our guns, a community that will foster mental health for our children so that they do not have to go through a dark pathway. Is this beneficial to all concerned? Well, if we come together as a community and do this, make these changes and take this more seriously than we are doing today, then of course, this will benefit us and it will reduce gun violence in America, not just in schools. So, what is the point of government if not to notice this undeniable problem in our country? What is the point of adults having the right to vote if none of these policies have been changed? If America continues to fail us, the government, the people, then we, the students, will head down this path of not being passionate and not driving for a good future. Our responsibility as students is to explore our passions and study hard. It isn't to memorize a procedure that might make us go through the day without being killed. So, as we all know, school shootings are not inevitable, and we see this in Scotland, when in 1996, there was a school shooting in an elementary school, and 16 children were killed. A few days later, there was a reform, a ban. And just like magic, no more school shootings in Scotland. But it's not magic. It's common sense. People, I'm not blind. You're not blind to this problem. So we can't just sit still and do nothing. So, I'm asking you, please take a conscious action to know who you are voting for, what you're doing. Because if you come up to me and tell me that no, this is too strict and we can't restrict guns and it infringes our Second Amendment right, because obviously that's more important than the children and the future of America, please tell me, enlighten me of this solution you have. Thank you.
Great job. Wow. That was fantastic. You all did great. While judges are calculating their scores, just let me tell you that everybody who competed, even the ones who aren't here today, will get a commendation letter from Rotary. And the prize money this year is $300, $250, $200, and $150 for fourth place. So everybody here is going to win some money. And I want to thank Greg Hartley and Brian Vilhauer, because they doubled the prize money for this contest, and we really appreciate that. So to speak to you for a couple minutes, we have a very special treat. The winner of our contest back in 2020, Ms. Carrington Rainey. Come on up here, Carrington. She won a scholarship to UC, and she's going to just talk for a couple minutes about how being in the speech contest kind of helped change her life.
Yeah, could I stand back there?
Sure. You want the podium? Absolutely. You can do whatever you want.
All righty. How's everyone doing today? Good. That's amazing. Well, thank you, Miss Lori, for personally inviting me into the Rotary Club. I'm truly honored to be here today, given that I competed in the Hamilton Rotary Speech Contest in 2019. And I can say that that experience really became the catalyst to my future success. I would like to take a few steps back to explain how I even decided to compete in the Rotary Speech Contest. First, I did not want to compete at all. As a matter of fact, I was adamant about not competing. My government teacher, Mr. Craig at Clark Montessori, he asked me about the speech contest every class period. And my typical response was, speaking isn't really my thing. You can probably get Maya or Anna, someone who was already pretty confident in high school, something that I lacked at the time. I kept redirecting him to just other students, hoping he would leave me alone. One particular day, I was late for my bus, so I was swiftly moving through the hallways. I wasn't running, but I was swiftly moving. And Mr. Craig blocked the doorway to the stairs by his room. He stretched out his arms, and he said, "Are you going to do the Rotary Speech Contest?" And so we responded to each other like in a rapid fire of 10 seconds, and he's like, "Are you going to do the contest?" And I was like, "Mr. Craig, I got to get to my bus, like I'm really late." He was like, "Come on, you should just do it." I was like, fine, like I'll just do it, just let me go. So as I made my way down to the Metro bus, I sat down in my seat, the last seat to be exact, thanks to Mr. Craig, and and I realized the decision that I made. Fast forward, I end up winning the Hamilton Rotary Speech Contest in 2019. A promise that I wanted to keep to Mr. Craig turned into one of the most transformative years of my life. My speech was about mental health. My sister, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the age of 15, I spoke about our relationship and the importance of mental health awareness. In the moment that I felt most vulnerable, I also felt the most empowered, and I also empowered my peers at my high school. When I returned to high school, I found that students were having different conversations about their own mental health journeys, and we discussed the interconnectivity between mental health and physical health, and I helped make a taboo subject relatable and freeing. In honor of Black History Month, I thought this quote was pretty fitting. Dr. Maya Angelou said, "Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning." This is why I'm so honored to be here today. Because of you all, the candidates, you are giving your words power. First, you took the initiative to take advantage of this opportunity that will look impressive on your resume. Also, it will help you make connections, and it also challenged your limits. But more importantly, you are practicing advocacy and agency about the issues you discussed today. Zora Neale Hurston once said, if you are silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. So now, as you continue to embark on your journey of self-exploration and becoming a young adult, I encourage you to continue to take opportunities of growth and never be silent and allow someone to silence you. And as for the professionals and the Rotary Club members in the room, continue to pour into the youth. You being here today is a testament of your dedication to the betterment of our future. I encourage you all to be like Mr. Craig, blocking the doorway, being persistent and believing in the next generation, and also opening doorways and paths to students, because once they get their foot in the door, they'll just walk right on through. So thank you.
Thank you, Carrington. You're awesome. All right. We'd like all 4 contestants to come up on stage, and Steve King, our president, is going to give you a pin that you're never going to be able to forget, the Rotary 4-way test, because it's right on the coin that he's going to be giving you. If you just stand up and face the audience. All of you win money, all of you get letters. Steve is going to hand out flowers, and we just announced the winner. We don't announce the ranking of everybody here, but wait till everyone gets their flowers. All right, the judges' scores are in. Thank you all for competing. And the winner of our contest this year is Lynn Sandmann from McNicholas.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Yes, thank you to everyone who made this possible. You guys are wonderful.
Standing ovation, ladies. We love it. Thank you so much. It was so inspiring. We could get a picture up here, right?
Look at all of them first. Lynn's mom and dad, or whoever's with Lynn, if you want to come up, we'll get a picture.
Is there anything else related to the contest?
We don't really have anything else to do.
You want to dismiss them?
Yes, yes.
So, 2 final announcements. Melinda Kelly, past President Melinda Kelly, said, make sure you tell everyone to take an annual report. So, she asked me. She was real nice about it. Committee meeting, we have a 1:30 committee, World Affairs Committee in the Julep Room. Next week, we have Becky Beaulieu, PhD. Becky's the president and CEO of Taft Museum of Art. One more big thank you to our contestants and all our celebrity judges. Thank you to Lori and Rob and Jim. This is an amazing program every year. One more big thank you, and meeting adjourned.